Day two of the NFL draft is almost here. We are 30 minutes away from the San Francisco 49ers starting off at pick 33. We'll see. The 49ers have already traded back twice. Will they trade back a third time? We'll talk about the news and reports that have come about that. We'll talk about and react to the whole second and third round. We're also going to be streaming on the Fanatics View channel. Make sure you go like and sub to their channel as well. Talking all sports all the time. But let's talk draft right now. So to get the juices flowing, you already know what to do. Drop an SDS in the chat for the Sourdough Squad. Smash that like button for some good draft luck. And let's get into day two of the NFL draft right now. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to see it. All right, ladies and gentlemen, we are back for day two of the NFL draft. What are we going to get? I don't know. I thought day one was pretty eventful. The Rams going with the quarterback. I saw the rumblings of it, but I was like, nah, there's no way. There's no way. They're win now. They're in their last kind of Super Bowl era with Matthew Stafford. Are they really going to go Ty Simpson out of Alabama? Which is funny because the guy that Ty Simpson has been comped to for the majority of this draft process has been Brock Purdy. Okay, so they go out and they get their Brock Purdy at pick 13. Mekhi Lemon was on the board. Interesting decision. And it was pretty funny because obviously Sean McVay didn't seem too thrilled about it. That was one of the bigger stories, I think, of the day. I got to give credit to the Browns. I thought the Browns had a phenomenal draft. I think the Browns might have sniped the San Francisco 49ers. I do think that the 49ers were seriously interested in drafting Casey Concepcion in the first round. But unfortunately, he is now off to Cleveland. And that is what kind of, I think, triggered the trade back with the San Francisco 49ers, who, again, are the first pick of today's draft, picking pick 33. And, again, we'll see if that trend continues or they stand pat and pick. So far, what we've heard is that it does seem like the San Francisco 49ers are open for business. They kind of alluded to that last night in their press conference. And based on the reports that we've seen come out this morning, is that it does seem like they are very, very willing to trade back. This report from Jordan Schultz, who said a source, is saying that the 49ers are considered to be very open to moving back and continuing to acquire draft capital at pick 33. Basically saying they're targeting several players, don't necessarily need to pick at 33 to land one of them. Now, that I agree with. I think that this current tier of players that they're in, you're getting a pretty comparable player at pick 33 or pick 39. I think that it all depends on obviously who you like and who you want this team to go for. But I do think that a trade back to acquire more draft capital, especially on day two, isn't a bad thing. So it'll be fascinating. I saw a report from Albert Breer saying that the 49ers really like Zion Young. I don't know how to interpret that because I do think that it's smoke season, baby. the San Francisco 49ers aren't going to leak what they really want to do, especially to someone like Albert Breer. So it gives me a little bit of pause on, do they really want Zion Young, or do they think Zion Young might be one of the top trade commodities for a team to move up and take him? Because the way that I look at Zion Young, who is the guy that I would like the 49ers to draft at 33 if they stay put, but we'll talk about the whole scenario because I know a lot of fans want Denzel Boston. A lot of fans want Emmanuel McNeil Warren. So we'll talk about all those different scenarios. But one of the things that I'm thinking is that this information is out there because Zion Young is one of the, I think, the top 3 down edge available. He's a guy who can play base down. And according to, I know a lot of people believe Zion Young can't rush the passer. I definitely believe Zion Young can rush the passer. So you got it right here. Zion Young equals Kinlaw. Not even close to being the same player. One of the worst comps I think I've ever seen. But that's the point. That's the perception of what Zion Young is. A lot of people have called him Michael Williams. I look at Zion Young. I don't even see. I think I think Zion is actually a better 3 down player than Michael Williams is. So, but we'll see, right? To each their own. So let's get that into the conversation of, well, who could the San Francisco 49ers take at 33 or in a trade back scenario? So I ran 3 scenarios. 3 mock drafts where the San Francisco 49ers were jumping back. So this is kind of how I had it playing out. And I did it 3 ways. In each one of the trade backs, I had them either start off with edge, I had them start off with safety, or I had them start off with O-line. I think that those are the top 3 positional targets for the San Francisco 49ers because I do believe there are other wide receivers that you can get at pick 58 that have a similar value as a player like Denzel Boston. So that's why I didn't include Denzel Boston, because I really like Jeremy Bernard out of Alabama in that pick 58 situation. But we'll see. Let's take a look at some of these mocks that I put together just to see some different variations. So I feel like the Browns could be a strong target for the San Francisco 49ers to potentially be a trade back candidate. We'll see. I don't know. The Browns did acquire additional capital by trading back. Maybe they use this as their opportunity to jump back up and get someone that they want. We'll see. So in this scenario, basically just a swap. They're taking pick 90, swapping it with the Browns to jump up to pick 70, which I do think would be a good move. Going from 90 to 70, I think is a pretty dramatic jump based on the level of prospect. So I think that move would make sense. And then I had, based on this mock, and again, I used a simulator, so these are the players that are available. I went Emmanuel McNeil Warren to start off the safety mock, like I mentioned. Then we went R. Mason Thomas as a pass rusher at pick 58. I think the value for R. Mason Thomas at 58 is pretty solid. And then also another value pick is getting Chris Bell. Obviously, the knock on Chris Bell is he is recovering from a serious knee injury. But as we saw a video of him running. All right. Oh, we got some news. Hold on. All right. Let me pause the thought. Adam Schefter just tweeted. Adam Schefter just said 49ers have had talks throughout the day about trading the first pick of round 2, the number 33 overall selection. So far, No offer enticing enough. Now, this is interesting because Schefter has now tweeted out about the 49ers trading twice. I'm not sure I can recall him doing this for any other team yesterday. So now the 49ers about to be on the clock in two different situations. Adam Schefter has leaked that the 49ers are attempting to trade or looking to trade. This one effectively saying, to the teams that have called upon them that they have not received an offer good enough for moving off of that pick. So, what does that mean? Do they stand pat? Do they move back even if the offer isn't what they desire? I don't know. We shall see. But that is the news that we got right now as we are about 15 minutes out from the San Francisco 49ers being on the clock. Is Adam Schefter is saying no deal for pick 33 just yet. No offer enticing enough. So, I don't know. Let's see how this plays out. And just like we were kind of talking about right now, we're talking about potential trade back scenarios. So maybe there's a scenario where they stand put. But let's get back into this particular trade back scenario where I start safety, edge, wide receiver Chris Bell, tight end Oscar Delp. Not sure if Delp will be here. I think Delp will be higher on teams boards than media boards. I think Oscar Delp has a little George Kittle in him. So, and when I say that, I mean like similar prospect to George Kittle coming out. Not an elite, not the same level of blocker. George Kittle was a unicorn as a blocker at tight end. So that is a hard comparison. He's a good, Delp is a good blocker. He is not a George Kittle level blocker, but Delp has arguably some of the best athleticism at the tight end position in this class, and clearly wasn't used that way at Georgia. So we'll see. Micah Morris, I think, could be a good option to at least compete at the guard spot. But obviously, as you can see, going safety, edge, wide receiver, and filling those holes, it kind of dropped the 49ers out of the contention for a solid offensive lineman. That's one of the problems with. That's why I stacked it this way. I started with safety, I started one with O-line, and I started one with edge because it changes the whole board. The second one that I did, I started with my top guard prospect, and that's Emmanuel Pregnon. Some guys don't like Pregnon because he's 25 years old. In my opinion, if you need a plug-and-play starting caliber player, that's what Pregnon is. He can start day one as a guard out of Oregon. So that I go Pregnon. I traded with the Bills. I don't know how realistic they are as a trade partner, but it's what the mock had offered up. So I took it, and that moved them back to 35. So it wasn't a big jump, and I was able to get Pregnon. At 58, I've talked about Jeremy Bernard. I love Jeremy Bernard. I love Jeremy Bernard enough that I would pass on Denzel Boston, because I think Bernard would be a great fit for this scheme. Not that Boston wouldn't either, but again, we're trying to do this dance of plugging holes in these different rounds. And so if you get in Boston, you're probably losing out on Pregnon and Basantis. So, and you're obviously losing out on McNeil Warren. So again, it's this dance. You have to do this dance with which position you're targeting. And so I like the value at wide receiver at 58 better than I like the value at offensive line. There's still an option, and we'll get to that in the next draft, that I'm going to show you, but we'll see. Danny Dennis Sutton. He strikes me as a guy that I think the 49ers will like. I think he's okay. I think he's, at pick 66 in this range. I think DDS is solid. I don't love him, but I think he's okay. I wouldn't be mad at it. I also went Jack Andrews. I'm a big Jack Andrews guy. Got to cover him at Cal. So got to see him up close and in person, and I think he has a lot of untapped potential as well. So we'll see. Robert Spears Jennings, I think, is an interesting safety prospect in round 4. I double up at edge because I really like Mason Rieger as I think he's a lot of pass rushing upside. So where Danny Dennis, I think, is more of a base down guy, Rieger can kind of fit that whole of kind of also being a pass rush specialist. And I went Kalen Black, who I think is one of the most slept on uh, running backs in this class. I like him quite a bit. So I ended the third mock draft with the edge first mock. I went Cassius Howell at pick 36. So you can see I put together this trade with the Raiders to be able to move back to pick 36. And as you can see, for the trade back, I would like to stay in the 30s. That would be my ideal scenario, is staying in that range, so that you can acquire some additional picks or do a little bit of swapping to move up, where you don't have to give up a ton. And then, as you can see, Howell to me is who you want if you're looking for the best pure pass rusher. He is the best pure pass rusher available. His arms are really short, and I'm even someone who typically looks beyond short arms, but his arms are so short that I kind of have to mention it. I think he has 30 and a half inch arms. Um, they're just really short. And what did you? Okay, hold on a sec. I see your tweet. Said Jeremy Fowler just tweeted something.
Obviously, we're going to find out early. Now, before them, my understanding is the San Francisco 49ers are getting some action about teams possibly coming up to 33. We actually, despite what sort of you may think, we usually don't see trades at 33. The 49ers are getting some interest. A couple really good players. Denzel Boston would be one. Holden Hood would be another. We'll see if someone swings a deal with the 49ers before him. Otherwise, is Arizona going to take a quarterback? Miami's Carson Beck, you would think, would be the quarterback they would consider here. A lot of people thought that the Cardinals were going to have the option to trade up into the back half of the first round and take Ty Simpson. Not even close. He went 13 to the Rams. So do they pull the next quarterback off the board, help secure their future?
Interesting. Okay, so it sounds like the 49ers are getting nibbles, but not getting exactly what they want. Teams early in the second round believe 49ers have enough interest, traction to potentially do another deal. All right, so we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. Obviously, the 49ers, all eyes on them. Seeing what they're going to do. We're 8 minutes away from them being on the clock. We'll just wrap up this quick mock. You can see Cassius Howell, if you want speed. Jennings Dunker, to me, is a guard. He would also be a potential day one left guard for the 49ers. I don't think he's a tackle. I like him at guard. I like Malachi Fields. I like the value of him in the third round. Sam Roush, I do think, is another good option. Jake Slaughter to come in and potentially be your center of the future. Landon Robinson, Aaron Donald clone, and then Lewis Moore. So those are the 3 mocks that I put together. all for trade back scenarios. Again, just to give us a little bit of an idea for what we could be cooking up. So, with that being said, who do you guys want at pick 33? Do you want a trade or do you want someone right there? I want to see. Drop it in the chat. I'm going to be watching. Let me see what you got. All right, I like it. I like what I'm seeing. I'm seeing some trade backs. Seems like a lot of people are still down for the trade back. I think the most ideal situation, and I'll pull up kind of how I ranked these players. And again, this is just my personal belief. I don't expect everyone to agree. Let me show you how I kind of have it stacked really quickly here. Nope, want you gone. And I want to bring in this image right here. Okay, so this is kind of the way that I have it stacked. So the first three guys that I want, and I don't care if it's a trade back, I don't care if it's staying put and taken. I don't care. It could be either option. So let me see here. I like Zion Young, Emmanuel Pregnon, and Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Those are like my three guys that are at the top of my list. And again, I don't expect everyone to be on the same page with me. That's fine. The tier below is Howell, Yakus, Jeremy Bernard, Denzel Boston, Chase Besantis. And then the tier below is kind of more safety, like value safety, is Jalen Kilgore, who I like as a safety. Many think that, he's a cornerback, he's a nickel. I like him as a safety. He has experience playing both positions, and that's where I see him just being a stud. So that's why I have him there. AJ Halsey, who I came on late. I like him, and then R. Mason Thomas down there, kind of in that tier. So that's the way that I'm kind of looking at it. I do think TJ Parker deserves to be here. I would put TJ Parker the edge there on my tier ranking. I didn't put him on here. Honestly, I kind of looked over TJ Parker a little bit this process. But he is also kind of like a 3-down edge player, so he could be an option as well. But again, he's closer to Zion than he is Howell. So let's see what we get, boys and girls. We are less than 3 minutes away from the beginning of the draft. The 49ers, all eyes on the red and gold as they're answering the phones. They are seeing if they can trade out, move back. Let's see. Whoo-hoo. Let's do we get a pick tonight? Yes, the 49ers will be picking. Believe it or not, it's going to happen. All right. Whole NFL world waiting to see what the 49ers do to kick this one off. Again, I think that this is where, like, we're going to look back at this draft and we're going to say some really good players came out of day 2. I really do. I think, you think back to the success that the San Francisco 49ers have had on day 2 and day 3. I mean, you look at Fred Warner being a 3rd-round pick. George Kittle was a 5th-round pick. Deommodore Lenoir was a 5th-round pick. Talanoa Hufanga was a 5th-round pick. You had, Dre Greenlaw was a 5th-round pick. Brock Purdy was a 7th-round pick. Jawan Jennings was a 7th-round pick. Let's go. Like, this is where you build your team right here. Kyle Shanahan talked about this yesterday, and I really loved what he had to say. He's like, yeah, of course you want to hit on your early picks, but you build your team through the middle rounds. And I agree 100%. And this draft, okay, breaking news. The 49ers are picking no trade, according to Schultz. The 49ers are not trading out of pick 33, according to Jordan Schultz. All right, so after all of that, the San Francisco 49ers, again, I mean, listen, anything can happen. Anything can happen. The 49ers are officially on the clock. Oh, now Schefter said it too. All right, we got multiple NFL insiders saying that the San Francisco 49ers are sticking and picking. Okay, this is it. 49ers are officially on the clock. This is your last. Kyle said, bring me the T-Rex. I love it. I love it. All right, we're picking, baby. We're picking. This is it. This is your last chance. Oh, to get your predictions in. Let's see. Are we going to get a Jed York tipped pick like we did last year? Man. Where's my boy? He is dealing from his first ever draft disappointment. No, he's actually gearing up to go to football practice. All right, who's it gonna be? O-line, you think so? You think so? M-Dub? Maybe. Young? I'd love it. Gonna be Chris Bell. I don't mind Chris Bell. I don't want Chris Bell. I wouldn't say I want Chris Bell right now, but we'll see. All right, it looks like they are panning to the commissioner. Commissioner has officially taken the stage. And day 2 of the NFL draft has officially kicked off. Smash that like button for good luck, baby. Oh boy, I see people want Boston. People want Edge. Oh, whatever happens, the 49er faithful are going to be divided on the pick. I think. I don't know. We'll see. We'll see. But the bottom line is there's a lot of good options here. There's a lot of good options. So where do they value? Do they value safety more? Do they value offensive line more? Do they value edge more? Keep in mind, edge, pretty significant kind of position right now. Nick Bosa coming off torn ACL. Michael Williams coming off torn ACL. Bryce Huff retires. Cleveland Farrell did not get re-signed, from my understanding. So there's a big hole right now on that edge. And we know that the 49ers love themselves some D linemen. So that to me seems like if you're going for need, it's D line. If you're looking at BPA, you got to be looking at Emmanuel McNeil Warren. I think he's definitely one of the more electric secondary players in this draft. Obviously, you have the two Tennessee guys. Do they go cornerback? I would be shocked to see them go cornerback, but you have some good options available. So they could do that. They could go that route. Jermod McCoy, who's considered to be a top 10 talent, just has medical issues. Yeah, it's gonna be interesting one. And just so you guys know, if you're watching, we're tipping picks. Oh, look, there's Jetty. There's Jetty. Just wanted to warn you, if you were synced up with the broadcast, we got a tip. Just because typically the broadcast is behind, but hopefully we'll be ready to go. So we're at the 6-minute mark. Right now. Oh boy. Thibodeau tweeted goodbye. Oh, it's getting spicy. It's getting spicy, ladies and gentlemen. All right. So it'll be interesting. Wonder if someone makes a last trade. I feel like the 49ers are going to take this one all the way down. I feel like they're going to take it all the way down, see if anyone comes back with a higher offer. They're showing on the screen right now, Jed York, John York, Kyle and John in the middle, bunch of their kiddos in the back. You got Tariq Ahmad, RJ Gillum. Both of them are basically the assistant GMs. So that's your 49ers brain trust right now, making these picks. Whoo. Yeah, they are. They're just vibing. They're just chilling right now, waiting to see what happens. Here's a look into let's see here. So if you're watching the draft, which I'm sure you are, you just saw this look of the 49ers draft room. I like the casual attire by Kyle Shanahan, kind of casual vibes, day 2. I like it. They're chilling. They had all day to game plan about what they're going to do today. Just kind of sit back, see if anyone's going to make a move, and we'll see, man. We will see. 10th year, man. I can't believe We're already heading into 10 years of Kyle Shanahan and John Lynch. Man, time flies. Only thing missing is that 6, baby. Is that 6? Will this next pick help get us there? We'll see. We'll see. All right. We are now under 3 minutes on the draft clock. Like I said, I think they're going to take this one all the way down. See if anyone comes in, throws a Hail Mary deal at the end. They're chilling. Oh, phone's ringing. Oh, looks like they're calling. Oh, boy. I think they might be picking. All right. I can't remember exactly the gentleman's name who was just in the screen. Looked like he probably had a directory in his hand, dialing some numbers, getting the call prepped, hand it over to John Lynch to make the pick. All right. Yeah, we don't know. We're under 2 minutes. The pick hasn't officially been in, which is why it hasn't been tipped. Oh, as I say, the pick is in. The San Francisco 49ers are drafting, ladies and gentlemen. It's happening. John Lynch is on the phone right now, just about to hand the phone off to Kyle Shanahan to welcome their newest draft pick. Who is it? Oh, applause all around. Who is it going to be? Oh, wow. They're going wide receiver and someone I am not. Okay. You ready? The 49ers are taking Ole Miss wide receiver Dejon Stribling. Wow. They've done a lot of homework on Ole Miss players. This is Jordan Watkins' teammate from last year. I think from a media perception, I think Stribling was kind of like a 4th round kind of a guy. Honestly, I didn't do a ton of work on him, so I can't even give you an immediate reaction. But, I think pretty on brand pick for the 49ers, kind of taking someone that did not expect to go there, completely against the grain of the consensus. So we'll see. Again, I can't even give you a solid analysis. The 49ers have selected Ole Miss wide receiver at pick 33. All right, how are we feeling, ladies and gentlemen? I know it wasn't Denzel Boston. I don't think that this was a name that I have seen mentioned, I think, by anyone in the 49ers community. How we feeling about it? Horrible pick, crazy, stupid, 5th round grade. I'm on the NFL's best player available right now. Let me see where he's at on this so I could try to give you something here. All right. He's not on the first page. He's not. Oh, yeah. He's on the second page. Okay. So this is the breakdown by Lance Zerline. Long striding, vertical access, wideout with speedy play and production. Stribling has good size and early acceleration to climb over the top of coverage, but lacks short area quickness to gain separation underneath. His downfield ball skills are above average, but he struggles to consistently carve out catch space and fight through contested catch contact for tight coverage wins. He has legit speed after the catch once he finds open grass. He's also one of the most competitive run blockers in the wide receiver class. Okay, I like that little note. Stribling projects as an immediate wide receiver 4 who could eventually work his way into a starting role. Stribling is 6'2", 207 pounds, 31 and 5/8 inch arms, 10-inch hands, and has nearly a 77-inch wingspan. All right, let's get some clips. I need to see. I need to watch. I'm going to hold my tongue until I watch. I will tell you this. To me, this is going to be perceived as a reach. I know that the same thing was considered with Ricky Pearsall when he was drafted at the end of the first. So there's no way around it. This is going to have the perception of a reach. But let me see. Let me see what we got. Let me see if I can get some all 22 and we can watch it together and we can all react at the same time. All right, I got some clips. Let's pull it up. Let's pull it up. Hold on, hold on. Let's see what we got. So, again, I didn't even have the 49ers taking a wide receiver at this spot. I didn't think that the value aligned. And but again, that's a reason why I'm not in the draft room. All right, let's see. Okay, so let's do some stribling. I haven't watched this yet, so I think he's this boundary wide receiver at the top of your screen. Nope, that's not him. So he is the guy working out of the slot. So finding the soft spot in the zone, gets the catch, turns up field. Apparently runs in the 4.3s. Great throw. I like that physicality right there to truck the DB. All right, I wasn't watching the right guy. Well, he's fast. I like that right there, back shoulder throw. Use his hands to go up and get it. I like that. TJ Parker. Oh, wait, we're missing some picks. What do we got? TJ Parker. Oh, Cardinals go Chase Basantis at 34, and then TJ Parker to 35. Buffalo's up. Talented player. Obviously, we got to do more work, but first impression, clearly, this is a guy who can stretch the field. Looks like he can have a bit of breakaway speed. Looks like he's a boundary wide receiver. and has some legit potential. I think the conversation is uh, going to be about value with him. Um, Probably, I mean, perceived value is you could have definitely got him at 58. Obviously, teams' boards are much different. We know the 49ers, they go by the beat of their own drum. They really do not care. Um, what the At least it doesn't seem that they care about value. In a lot of instances, they just go with who they want. Uh, so yeah, so immediate reaction is the player looks he looks okay. He looks like a good player. But again, if you're gonna be a draft person, a lot of the things that we discuss are positional value, slotting value of these players. I don't know. I don't know if any of these teams would have taken Stribling in the second. I have no idea. Um, I think that a trade back now. My guy says no disrespect to bro, but with better prospects on the board, this was dumb. Yeah, this one's tough, bro. Um, but again, I got to do my homework to like really have a strong feeling about this one. Um, but the initial gut reaction is the value doesn't align with where he was picked. But again, I also didn't watch him a whole lot. So he looks like he has a pretty big frame. He's over 3,000 snaps played, just a 1.8% drop rate during last season. His RAS score is a 988. He ran a 4.36 40-yard dash. Um, Shows his big play ability with 14 yards per catch in 2024, 23 career touchdowns. So, I mean, he has production, he has measurables. I just got to do my homework. So, we'll see. Um, my guy Taylor saying Trinidad and him bald. Um, Believes it was early for him, but he's a good player. So I think that's kind of where we're I think that's where we're at with the 49ers is he's probably a decent player, but he probably went a little early when it comes to draft value. So, but again, that is very on par with how the 49ers operate the draft. Um, we got Andre saying, do the Niners not want to win a Super Bowl? I'm confused. Listen, I got a lot of pushback this offseason when I was um, mocking KC Concepcion in the first round to the 49ers. I think that I don't think the 49ers view it like any of us do. And that's why, you know, when people ask me, what do you think the 49ers are going to do in the draft? I always say, I have no idea. And Exhibit A just took Dejon Stribling at pick 33. Um, Again, feels rich for where he was selected, but that is how the cookie crumbles. And now we got to wait and see how it all plays out. Probably. Yeah, it was a reach. I'll keep it a buck with you. It was a reach. Based on perceived value, it was a bit of a reach. D-Buck says, does this line up with what I said yesterday? Not who you would have picked, but you can see a fit. Um, I could see it. Um, I could see it. I I just am struggling with where he was selected. Um, but I mean, he's got speed. He's definitely fast, and he's a larger frame, 6'2", 207. So we'll see. I gotta dive into the tape, man. Like the biggest thing that I am struggling with, and I'll be honest with you, is the perceived value perception versus the actual player. That's the hardest part right now. Is that you're seeing a lot of really good players come off the board, and um, this is a guy that wasn't projected to go this high, at least according to all the major media outlets. And as we know, major media outlets don't represent what is done, um, doesn't match internally of what goes on inside these buildings. But I do know, obviously, um, with covering the Niners in the draft for a long time, this is what they do. They don't I really don't think they pay all that much attention to like how other people value certain players. I mean, I'm sure they have to, but they really have no issue going and taking the guy that they want. Um and that's exactly what the San Francisco 49ers just did. So, uh I see some people keep saying my son's going to be pissed. Um probably. Probably. If you missed it, he was on the live last night when the 49ers traded out from drafting Omar Cooper Jr., which was his draft crush. Um, so boy. So back to the original question, Buck. Not do I see a fit? That's the question. I need to focus. I need to focus. Do I see a fit? Yes, I see a fit. Um, I see the player fitting into what the San Francisco 49ers want to do. Um, but I'm struggling. I'm struggling with where he was selected. That is my issue. Because again, like I was saying earlier, I went through the whole process and was like, I feel like pick 58 would have been a great target for him, at least value perception. And you attack a different position of need um, that was maybe a little bit more pressing. And um, so, again, it's a hard one to be super, super just on board with because I got more work to do, baby. We got to see how this one shakes out. The Texans selected defensive tackle Caden McDonald out of Ohio State. Shout out to that young man for sticking around uh, after being in the green room. All right, the New York Giants are on the clock. I think their pick already got leaked. What did the Giants do? Giants took Colton Hood out of Tennessee. So that was a guy who was considered to be a top 10 talent by many, but had some medical concerns and he fell a little bit. All right. So let's do it. Let's get a quick gauge on how everyone is feeling about the San Francisco 49ers pick at pick 33. They did not trade back. Give me your instant grade for Stribling at pick 33. Let me see what you guys got. Drop your grades in the chat and right out the gate. Damn. A lot of F's. We've got a couple F minuses. I think the highest grade I've seen in the chat is a C. So yeah, the highest grade I've seen is a C. Oh, there you go. We got an A. I think the reality is it's probably closer to a B minus pick. C plus. And the only reason why again is because of perceived value. I think and I kind of agree with this as well because from what I'm looking into, what I'm seeing, he looks like a good football player. Um I just again, I personally wouldn't have drafted him at 33. Um so I get everyone's frustration for sure. Um but yeah. Yeah, not the route I would have went, but do I think this is Kyle's pick? Yeah, I would say so. Ooh, the Raiders go with a good pick at pick 38. They go with Arizona cornerback Traden Stukes. Wow, the Browns go with Denzel Boston. Dude, I hate the Browns. they they literally just snag as many wide receivers as they can just so they can go there to fade away. Um Brutal, man. Denzel Boston, KC Concepcion, uh go to the Browns. So I know Denzel Boston was a player that a lot of 49er fans wanted. He goes to the Browns. All right. Kyle Stockhouse. So the San Francisco 49ers pick what? They pick next at pick 55 or 58, excuse me. Going to be fascinating to see where they go with this one. I think too one of the interesting things about this is they obviously did homework on Stribling last year when they drafted Jordan Watkins. He seems again, I'm trying to do watch as much as I can on him as we're still talking about him. He's fast. He's got pull away speed. I hate to say it. He doesn't look as agile, but he's he's got some physicality to him. Do they even look at who's available when they pick? Oh my goodness. Hey man, they like their guy. Ooh, R. Mason Thomas goes to the Chiefs. R. Mason Thomas goes to the Chiefs. What was this? Gemini or Chat Premium is the question. Damn. The allegations of the 49ers using AI. Crazy. Who's more mad, us or Sean McVay with the picks? Probably 49er fans. I would definitely have to say 49er fans are going to be more upset based on the value. But like I said, I'm personally less mad at the player. This reminds me of a guy. We're going to be upset with where he's selected, but I think he could be a good player, but we'll see. We got to see. I got a lot of homework to do. So that leaves basically all the 49ers major holes that they went into heading into this draft. Available. So edge, O line, safety potentially. He says, Brad, sounds like you're trying to convince yourself to like the pick. Again, I don't like the value. I don't. That's my biggest problem with it is I don't like where he was selected, but that also doesn't mean that I don't like the player either because I also admittedly haven't really done a bunch of work on Stribling. So I can't sit here and say that I don't like a player that I haven't done a bunch of work on. I need to figure out who this guy is before I can give you a definitive take on if I really do think it is a bad pick or not. And I think that's the correct take for someone like me who's supposed to have a take, but again, I didn't do a lot of work on him. So I can say that I'm shocked by where he was selected. I can say that I don't like the value based on the perception of where he was drafted, but we'll find out if we actually like the player or not. So far, I like what I've seen. So we'll see, baby. We'll see. Have any of you guys come around to it yet? Adam Schefter tweeted that the 49ers remain open to trading Brandon Ayuk and are hopeful to trade Brandon Ayuk. So we'll see if that occurs. I would be shocked to see Brandon Ayuk get traded. I just don't think he's got value. Trying so hard to cope. Yep. So far right now, like this is a very on brand 49ers draft. Like so on brand with how they operate it. So um I wish I was surprised. I'm not. And again, this guy could turn out to be a great player. He really can. But uh I don't think I ever heard about him being discussed as a potential round 1 guy. Uh the Saints have selected defensive tackle Christian Miller out of Georgia. So we're moving. We're moving along. I didn't even see who the Bengals picked. Oh, the Bengals took Howell. Okay. So our Mason Thomas off the board. Howell's off the board. They are the edges and defensive linemen in the second tier are starting to go. So the value that was there for the 49ers at 33, all those players are starting to go. That's a good point. Patriots saying draft Chris Bell and Anthony Hill. Chris Bell would be an interesting name, except the problem is I can't see the 49ers going. I wish I could say I can't see the 49ers going back-to-back wide receivers. Do they go back-to-back wide receivers? Who knows? Maybe they do. I would say conventional wisdom would say they're not going back-to-back wide receiver, but hey, you never know. This is a good point. Safeties are still available, so that's interesting. So I know a lot of people wanted I mean my top 3 guys are still rolling. I wanted Zion Young, I wanted Pregnon, and Emmanuel McNeil Warren. Those were the first 3 guys that I wanted. So let's see who falls. Chris Brazel got a lot of hype late in the process. The Tennessee wide receiver, he's still available. Texas Tech linebacker Jacob Rodriguez is still available. Looks like the Miami Dolphins are currently on the clock. Gabe Yakis is still available. Jalen Kilgore, Derek Moore, the edge out of Michigan. I really like the linebacker Kyle Lewis. I just don't see him as a huge pressing need at the moment. So we'll see. We'll see what happens here. Definitely not playing out like we had thought it would, which par for the course. D Winters got traded. Oh, breaking news. The San Francisco 49ers have traded D Winters to the Cowboys for what? For what? D Winters goes back to Texas, where he played at TCU. Oh boy, I bet my guy Taylor's happy about that. Oh boy. Hurry up. All right, what did they trade him for? Let's see. Waiting for the details to emerge. That's crazy. So maybe, as we were just talking about linebacker not being an option, maybe linebacker is an option. Dude, I can't. Who? Dolphins are taking Jacob Rodriguez at pick 43. All right, but what did we trade him for? So we had kind of heard some rumblings about the 49ers trading someone at linebacker, and they moved D Winters to the Cowboys. All right, what is your initial reaction to this trade. Is this a good move? Again, I haven't seen what the trade comp is yet. So 49ers get a 5th round pick for D Winters. All right. Wow, that's crazy. Okay, so D Winters, who was starting linebacker for the 49ers, started last season. I think he started the season before as well. A little bit more rotational role. He is going to the Dallas Cowboys for a 5th round pick. I believe the 49ers drafted D Winters with the 6th round pick. So if you want to look at it from that perspective, they're getting a return on investment, I guess, right? Because they're flipping him for a higher pick than he was traded for. Boy, oh boy. The Dolphins just traded up 6 spots to 44. Wow. D Winters goes for a 5th rounder. So they did draft Nick Martin last year. I think D Winters showed promise. He's definitely inconsistent, but he definitely showed promise. I just want to see more details of exactly what 5th round pick this is. Is it this year? Is it next year? So clearly, the return of Dre Greenlaw made the 49ers comfortable with making this move. And they go and do it. Wow. 49ers making all kinds of moves. That is their 3rd trade of this draft. And they go and get a 5th. The Cowboys and the 49ers, man, they make a lot of trades. That's the 2nd trade this year that the 49ers and Cowboys have made. Obviously, you can go back to the Cowboys were the ones who traded for Trey Lance for a 4th round pick. The 49ers got Osa Odigizua for a 5th rounder, or no, excuse me, a 3rd rounder this year. All right, so it is 152. So the 49ers add 152 for D Winters. Get 152 in from the Cowboys for D Winters. Good trade. All right, is that a good trade? Pick 152 for I think a starting caliber linebacker. I think he's a starting caliber guy. Um I think D's going to go over there and start. So I'm all right with it. I'm not convicted one way or the other. I think one of the things I'm always like, can we get more for players who have starting upside? Um, but I guess they're looking at it in the sense of, they don't have a need for him this year. They obviously drafted Nick Martin. They're not going to pay or extend D Winters, get something now for him. You're probably not going to get much for him if he sits on the bench all year and doesn't play all that much. So, and we know the 49ers want more picks. They clearly want more picks this year. So 152, the 49ers add an additional pick today. And it comes at the expense of former TCU linebacker D Winters. Whew. Okay, so I put up a quick poll on Instagram. Was this a good move? So I just made this post 2 minutes ago. So let's see. 2 minutes ago, I said, was this a good trade? Already have 285 responses, and 80% say no, this was not a good trade. Let me put up a poll in the chat right now to see what you guys think about this. Let's see. Can we start a poll? All right. So is the D Winters trade good? Wait. So far, all right, votes are coming in. Let's see how it looks once we get a couple more votes in here. I don't know. Josiah Trotter goes to the Buccaneers, 46th overall. So far, we have 50 votes in the chat. And we're trending about 70% are good with the D Winters trade. Interesting, the disparity from our chat here on YouTube versus Instagram. Instagram now is up to 526 votes. 79% still show no, it wasn't a good trade. We'll see. What is happening? We got Oh, I thought they just announced another pick. Not another pick. So far, we'll see. We'll see. I wish I could say the 49ers are cooking. I don't really feel like that at the moment. Um, little disappointed. But we'll see. We'll see what happens. We'll see how this all pans out. So the 49ers are 12 more picks till they're back on the clock at pick 58. And the Ravens have selected Missouri defensive end Zion Young. The Ravens are stockpiling all my draft crushes, apparently. So interesting development today. Definitely an interesting development. Not at all what I was expecting. We just traded Winters for a bag of chips. Shaking my damn head. I mean, yeah, we didn't trade him for a whole lot. That's for sure. I look defeated. I think, you know, I think that probably just comes from being a 49er fan. And just like having all these like high hopes for like, oh, what what we could do and what we're gonna come up with. And then it's like it's here and it's like, oh my gosh. And it's just funny because I feel this feeling. I think nearly every draft. I think last year was okay. I think last year was all right. Um, right? No, it wasn't. We took Michael. I wanted Jalen Walker. Um, so again, I didn't love Michael because he didn't possess a pass rush. I understood what the 49ers were trying to do, but I prefer Jalen Walker in that situation. Um, but that to me, I think is like my experience with the 49ers and how they draft a lot of the time. We do see eye to eye on some things. We do. And I'm excited when we do. It's great. They drafted George Kittle. I was a huge George Kittle guy. One of my all-time favorite draft crushes. The 49ers took him. And obviously we've seen what has transpired since. Um, you know, but we'll see. We'll see. I also have to remind myself, like, you know, let's see how it pans out. Let's see what Stribling is. Because if Stribling turns out to be A great player, all good. We're golden. We are golden. All right, let's with I agree with Mike. Moving on. Let's move on to 58. All right. So, Steelers pick is coming in. Let's take a look at who could be available for the San Francisco 49ers coming up here. I think based on kind of what we were thinking, Emmanuel McNeil Warren is still on the board. Emmanuel Pregnon is still on the board. There's Gabe Yakis is still on the board. There's still some quality potential players left with the 49ers coming up at 58. Dang it. The Steelers trade up and they select Alabama's wide receiver Jeremy Bernard. I really liked Jeremy Bernard as a potential target at 58. Obviously, clearly, he wouldn't have made it there. And obviously, he wasn't going to be in consideration for the 49ers after they took Stribling at 33. So, yeah, we'll see. All right. So, what other players can we look at? Let me just pull up the list. I'll show you. So, I'm really curious to see where the 49ers go here. I wish I could predict what they're gonna do, but I just can't. Does someone like McNeil Warren make it to 58? I like that concept. Tight end at 58. That could be that might be where you have to go if you want a Roush or a Delp or potential injuries, Eli Stowers. If you want one of those guys, offensive line obviously is still there. Emmanuel Pregnon is a guy I like. I think he could start right away. I'm going to go back a little further, see what other guys we haven't looked at yet. I think we're way too early for wide receiver or excuse me, running back. I don't think that's where the 49ers should be going at all with that pick. The Falcons have selected Avion Terrell. I think his brother plays for them. so excited to be in the Bay, man. Come on, Niner gang, let's go. What's up, Niner gang? It's John Stribling out here in Hawaii. Very excited to be here. Very excited to come to work. So excited to be in the Bay, man. Come on, Niner gang. Stribling celebrating the draft in Hawaii. It's not a bad spot to be when you get drafted. Not bad, not bad. D. Winters got traded. He's a Dallas Cowboy now. Yep, Ravens took my guy. Multiple years in a row now of them taking the player that I wanted. Fun stuff, good times. What's up, Niner gang? Niner gang. Stribling is from Hawaii. That makes a lot more sense. What I do like is reading Kyle Posey's draft write up on this. He's pretty high on him. And I like his write up. He was very bullish on Stribling. That's a good write up. Is Stribling good? I think so. Yeah, I think he's good. I think again, the problem isn't is he good, it's perceived value. It was considered to be a reach by the consensus. But we'll see. We'll see when it's all said and done. Because if he goes out and he balls out, well, is it a reach? So, based on first impression of what I've seen from him, he looks like an NFL wide receiver. He looks like he doesn't look like a AJ Jenkins. He doesn't look like Danny Gray. He looks like a big, stout, fast wide receiver. It looks like he shows a little bit of everything. He shows an ability to make plays downfield, go up, contested catch, shows the ability to create separation with the ball in his hands. So, yeah, let's see. Let's see what we get. So the 49ers are getting closer and closer. The Panthers are now on the clock. They've traded up. They now have pick 49. Oh, wow. So I don't know if you guys have seen the account on Twitter, SF Data Niners. He does a great job of pulling advanced analytics, and he did this document that basically scrubbed all the consensus big board rankings and matched where the 49ers drafted versus perceived reach. And Stribling is ranked as the fourth biggest reach on this sheet. Number one being Mitch Wisnowski. Oh boy, we're back. We're back. Uh, a punter went off the board, and my computer died. We're back. So we got our first punter off the board. Thank God. Dude, a punter in the second round? Sheesh. Why do teams do this to themselves? I don't understand. I don't get the desire. Oh, wait, they didn't take a punter. Hold on. I must have saw a typo. Yeah, it was a typo. It was a defensive tackle. I was about to say. They drafted defensive tackle Lee Hunter. Not a punter. False alarm. All right. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 49ers are 8 picks away from being back on the clock at pick 58. What I was trying to say was Stribling is already considered. Ooh, the Jets taking D'Angelo Pons. That's a great move. According to this data that account had scraped, is basically saying that Stribling is already considered to be the fourth biggest reach in the Kyle and John Lynch era, which is crazy. Let me try to show you what I'm talking about. So again, it's pulling and scraping data from NFL mock draft database. And this is the list of what is considered to be the top 20 reaches under the Kyle Shanahan era. And if you look at them, they all kind of align. At least Mitch played for us. Ty Davis Price barely played. Joe Williams never played. Womack was good once he was off the Niners. Trey Lance, obviously one of the biggest busts in NFL history. CJ Beathard never really did a whole lot. Nick Martin. And so basically what he's saying is Stribling is already considered to slot in at 4 for the biggest reach behind Joe Williams. So take that for what it's worth. Again, I don't think it's indicative of who the player is, but I think it's indicative to the concept that I think some of us are like really struggling with is perceived value, right? Where they took the player. We know they have a tendency to reach, as you saw by that sheet. And that's, I think, where, again, it doesn't mean that Stribling is automatically a bad player. He could end up being a great player for us. But we'll see. I like this from Ted Nguyen. He says Stribling is an awesome, perfect replacement for Jennings. Good blocker, physical pass catcher. No wonder 49ers wanted to keep trading back. Really good after the catch. 7.3 yards. Average 7.3 yak, more than Cooper. Yeah. I'm trying. I'm trying to sell myself on it. Ugh. Brutal. Sheesh. All right. So, there's still some players that are falling. Let me ask you this. What if the San Francisco 49ers select McNeil Warren at 58? And then in your brain, you just say, oh, they took McNeil Warren at 33 and then took Stribling at 58. Would that I think that would rationalize the value a little bit better for most 49er fans. But you know what's really going to upset 49er fans is when they don't take him at 58 and they go with a punter. Ay, ay, ay. Linebacker Jake Galday from Cincinnati just went to the Vikings. So that means Green Bay's on the clock. 6 more picks until the 49ers are back on the clock at 58. Now, what do you think the 40 dude, this so you guys know I wanted Zion Young. My Twitter is getting blown up from Ravens fans retweeting all my Zion Young clips being like, "Wow, we got a great player." This is one of the biggest like insults to injuries when the 49ers, I get it. They're not going to like all the players that I like. That's fine. I'm not going to act like I just know way more than they do. I'm really not. But you guys know I have my draft crushes. Like I have my players that I like. And so when I like my players, I like my players and I let you know about it. I tweet about them. I post cut ups, breakdowns. I do all that stuff. So one of the things that happens is when that player gets drafted by another team, that fan base starts retweeting all of my tweets. And it happens like clockwork. So right now the Ravens are just ecstatic retweeting all of my Zion Young videos and tweets. So it's like they're all juiced right now that they got. They're like, look at this. We got this guy at 45. I'm like, oh my gosh. Thanks for rubbing it in, man. Man, 49ers posted, thank you, D Winters. All right. We're getting close. Let's take a look back at our list. Niner gang. John Stribling out here in Hawaii. Very excited to be here. Very excited to come to work. All right. So the one that a lot of 49er fans wanted is still available. So it is going to be fascinating. Also, Pregnon still available. So I was willing to take him early. I think if you have a chance to go up, take him early. Or take him at 58. That's great value. I mean, the 49ers have a chance to still do something really good here. So the Packers take South Carolina cornerback Brandon Cease. I don't know how to say his last name. So the dream is still alive. Ceesay. We are about to watch all our favorite guys get drafted right before 58, and then we'll trade down. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know what they're gonna do. Like, obviously, we can target those guys, but I think we got to think outside the box. Is like who are we not thinking about at this pick? Because I think that might land us on. Again, could we go tight end? Sam Roush, Stanford kid in the backyard. Jay Sean Barham. Who are we not thinking about? Is probably going to be the most likely outcome. Oscar Delp. Hmm. CJ Allen goes. Ooh. Howie strikes again. Dude. Why do the Eagles just destroy the draft every time? They see the Eagles take the good pick every like Eagles have selected Vanderbilt tight end Eli Stowers. I mean, Makai Lemon, Eli Stowers, obviously preparing for life after AJ Brown. Dallas Goddard is at the end of his career. You go out and get one of the most physically gifted tight ends in this class. Patriots are trading up for Illinois' Gabe Yakis. All right. Is this where our heart gets pulled out? So the Patriots take one of the guys off the board. So Gabe is off. Let's see what we get. Chargers trade. Pick 55 for 63, 131, 202. How do they get that much for that? That's insane. Dude, Eli Stowers. I hate to say it. Eagles are cooking. So now we have Jacksonville on the clock. Chicago's next, and then the San Francisco 49ers. Let's see. I think they can make a lot of 49er fans happy if they go one way. Whew. All right. I just kind of want to be silent until we pick at 58. I don't want to jinx anything. All right, now's the time. Drop your prediction in the chat. Who are they going to take? Not who you want. Who do you think they're going to take with this pick right here right now? Who is it going to be? Who are the 49ers going to take? No, we're not on the clock. We're 2 picks away. Jacksonville, Chicago, and then the 49ers are on the clock. I think those picks should move pretty quickly. I see Dunker, Romello Height. Wouldn't be a bad option. Pregnon. Sam Roush. Be a good option as well. I think Romello Height is underrated. I think one of the things with him is he's a bit older of a prospect, but he's pretty solid. Dunker for the vibes. He would definitely bring the vibes, that's for sure. All right, let's see what. All kinds of stuff flying around. Jags are on the clock. All right. Hurry up. Hurry up, hurry up, hurry up. The Vikings are sending edge Jonathan Grenard to the Eagles for 2 third-round draft picks. Minnesota gets 98th overall and a 27th third, while Philadelphia gets Grenard. I'm tired, man. I'm tired. Howie can't keep getting away with this, man. He can't keep getting away with this. Someone has to stop this man. Someone has to stop Howie. Please. Jacksonville, I don't know what their safety situation's like. I don't know what Chicago's situation is like. All right. We are painfully close to the 49ers being up on the clock. Wow, the Eagles continue. The Eagles continue to be from a personnel standpoint, I don't ever since they made the mistake of passing on Justin Jefferson, the Eagles feel like they're batting 1,000. Like their personnel moves, whether it's draft, free agency, trades. I mean, they signed him. Ooh, geez. Jonathan Grenard is signing a 4-year, $100 million extension, 50 million guaranteed. I mean, that's not that. It's 20 mil a year. I mean, when you got edge rushers going for 50 mil a year, 20 mil a year doesn't seem that bad. All right, the Jaguars pick is in. All right. Who are the Jags going? Oh, tight end. We have our first tight end off the board. Texas A&M. Nate Borkreischer. I don't know if that's how you say his name, but we have a tight end. So this could be a prime tight end location. Okay, We're on deck. The Chicago Bears are on the clock. San Francisco 49ers are on deck. Couple guys that we would have considered at 33 still available. Let's see where the San Francisco 49ers go with this pick. All right, Chicago got that pick in super quick. The 49ers are now officially on the clock. Oh boy. Get your popcorn ready, ladies and gentlemen. The San Francisco 49ers are prepared to pick at 58. Let's see what we get. Let's see what the Bears are going to be doing here. It'll be interesting if they get one of these guys. I'm just not going to say it. I'm just not going to say it. I'm going to try to not jinx this at all. All right, it's time. Pick is in. 49ers are on the clock. All right, I want to see who did the Bears take. I do appreciate that they seem to be quicker with getting the picks out. Am I nervous? That's a great question. I think I would have to feel things to be nervous. I would say I'm just more numb to the moment. I think it's a little premature to feel really before we know, because we got to see where the 49ers are going. So nervous? No. Just kind of, let's see. Let's see what happens. Let's just see what happens. Man, they are taking their time to announce this pick. Man, just announce the Bears already. Oh, the 49ers have traded pick 58 to the Browns. The Bears have selected center Logan Jones. The 49ers have traded back. Oh, this is the most draft of all time. The 49ers have traded pick 58 to the Browns. Nice, nice, nice. Good work. What'd we get? We went from 58 to 70. Vomit. Are you kidding me? Gosh, dude. We're acting like oh, what did we get? Hold on. What did we get? Let me wait. The 49ers get pick 70 and 107 for 58 and 52. We're just trading to trade at this point. Ugh. Ugh. Woo-saw. 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 What? Why? Dude, I would love nothing more to be just a fly on. And the Browns have selected Emmanuel McNeil Warren at pick 58. Oh, the 49ers front office hates 49er fans. Oh my gosh. You can't script it any better. Like, you can't script it any better. Ay, ay, ay. Oh boy. All right. How we feeling? How we feeling, gang? We feeling good? Trade out, baby. A trade out. They moved back 20 picks just so they could have some more fun in the pick 100 range. Nice. Nice work. All right. So, I would say that Emmanuel McNeil Warren was like probably one of the most popular names I saw that 49er fans wanted, and they trade out just for the Browns to take him in that exact spot. Welcome. Welcome to the 49ers experience. Someone said, I think I'm going to go watch hockey now. Okay, so let's recap what we have so far, right? The 49ers trade out of 27 to 30, and then they go 30 to 33. They take Stribling at 33. They then trade D Winters to the Cowboys for a 5th-round pick. Then at 58, they trade back to 70 to basically, I think they took their 127. Or no, they took 152 and swapped it for 107. So to me, there was still quality players available here. And they yeeted. They said, nope. Yeeted. Oh, what an awful trade. It's not even a good trade. Oh, it's not even a good trade. Like, I can't wait to watch the press conference after this. Like, I just want to know, like, what are we thinking? What's the logic? Like, it feels like we're just trading back to trade back. Like, why wouldn't you just take someone? Like, there's untouchables on the board or something. Like, again, the trade back wasn't even a good trade. It wasn't even a good trade. So are we just trading back because we're like, oh yeah. No, I appreciate this comment. We're thinking we're smarter than all NFL scouts, that we pay 6 figures to analyze players for a guy we didn't even evaluate or call on the phone during the pre-draft. Like, I get, like, we're upset at this situation. But like, I can guarantee we have not done the level of homework that they have done on these guys. I know I haven't. Um, but damn. But also at the same time, like, we also know when good moves are made. Um, fans get it. Like, we know when there's a good move to be made. We know when Sorry, I'm trying to process this. I'm trying to process like what the logic is here. Like again, we didn't it wasn't a good trade. Like I don't think it was a good trade. I don't think they got a good value. I think who got a better value? It was someone who traded back like 13 picks. Like I just don't think they're getting good value. Dude, the Rams took another tight end. Dude, the Rams have an obsession with tight ends. What is going on with them? At least that's going on too. I mean, they took Terrence Ferguson last year. They signed Higbee to an extension. They now go with Max Clare out of Ohio State. Sure, like keep throwing picks at the tight end position. So at least the Rams are bottlenecking their positions that they're already strong in. But I mean, I get this too. I definitely get this. We won't know who's truthfully winning the trade, but obviously we can have a instant reaction to what is currently going on. And as it stands right now, it just doesn't feel like it feels like they're punting. That's what it feels like. It doesn't, I don't know. It's interesting. So we'll see. We'll see what happens, man. But kind of crazy. And like this is also what I keep thinking about. It's like oh, I didn't even see this. D-Buck said punting on first down for sure. Yeah, it's interesting. Why are we after later picks? I was I was wanting, I mean, they did bump that, what was it? 157 up to 107. I'm assuming they're going to use one of those picks for a tight end. Um, I could see them going center, like so where they're kind of targeting a lot of their picks is where the value of center is. So I could see them going center, kind of in that fourth round range. I could see them going running back in that fourth round range. Um, I mean, the safeties are falling a little bit. Um, so Yeah, it's an interesting dynamic though. I was also like really looking forward to them picking so I could go to the bathroom. I might have to take a potty break and pop back in, but we have time. So the 49ers are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8 picks away. I'm gonna go to the bathroom real quick. I know, I know, shouldn't leave the stream, but I gotta go to the bathroom. I'll be back. You hang tight. You hang tight. Don't you leave. Talk amongst yourselves about the phenomenal draft we're having. boy. Oh, I had to drop the kids off at the pool. Nelly. I think that was the first time I ever left midstream. Oh, yeah. I feel refreshed now. There's no way we traded back again. They're saying we traded back. How'd I damage my knee? Oh, the Chargers took Jake Slaughter from Florida. So, story time. I'll take you back to the night that the 49ers beat the Philadelphia Eagles in the wild card round. I believe that was, right? Yeah, I think it was the wild card. Was in Tahoe for my son's birthday, and after the game, um, the snow was a little icy. We decided we wanted to go into the hot tub as a family, and there were steps down to the hot tub. Uh, the snow, as I mentioned, had melted and then froze over, and I took a step down on the steps. I was wearing my Uggs, not a great foot choice, and I slipped. And the way that I slipped as I was transferring onto my leg caused like all my weight to just come crashing down on my leg. And I tore my patella, and that was I think I'm now 3 months post surgery now. So 3 months post surgery. It was pretty brutal. All the kids were out there. They had to kind of watch that whole situation. Ambulance had to come, uh, put me on the gurney, take me to the hospital, do all that good stuff. Um, but yeah, I'm about 3 months, 3 months post surgery. I'm about 2 weeks being off crutches. I still working through it, but we're getting there. We're getting back. I can drive now, which is nice. That was pretty nice. But we're getting back. Seahawks have selected TCU Bud Clark. Oh, Bud Clark had some hype this draft season. Seattle gets another decent safety. All right. So 49ers 6 picks away. coming on up. That's if they don't trade out, of course. No guarantee that they will be picking here at pick 70. They might not. We'll have to wait and see. We'll have to wait and see. Oh, spinning wheel. I have to assume they're going to pick here. We'll see if that actually is the case. All right, round 2 officially done. We are in the third round. Are you guys excited about the upcoming pick? Maybe. Ooh, the Cardinals are going Carson Beck at pick 65. Ooh, new quarterback. 2 new quarterbacks in the NFC West. Did you say they traded back again? Don't you dare. Don't you dare. I'm going to get trade back PTSD. All right. So Carson Beck to the Cardinals. How do we feel about that? I think the value isn't bad for them. They were talking about Carson Beck potentially sneaking into the first. I thought that would have been crazy. But getting him top of the third, that's not crazy. I think it'll be interesting to see what kind of pro he is. But not particularly worried about it. I think the quarterback situation for the Cardinals is an interesting one because I don't think the Cardinals are going to pay Brissett. I mean, they might. I know Brissett wants a pay raise. He wants to get paid like a starting quarterback. I think they brought in Gardner Minshew, if I'm not mistaken, and now they have Beck. So maybe they don't. Um, I don't know. It'll be interesting. I really don't know. Um, I really don't know how he's going to fare in the NFL. Could go both ways. But an interesting pick nonetheless. I think it makes sense. I mean, They get Jeremiah Love, Chase Basantis, and Carson Beck. I mean, if those three picks turn out to be good picks, I mean, that's a franchise changing first 3 rounds for the Arizona Cardinals. I mean, again, we'll see. Um, so far, I'd have to say the Cardinals are having the best draft in the NFC West. Second is probably the Seattle Seahawks. And then I think it's a tie between the Rams and the Niners. I don't know. The Niners might be a little bit better because Ty Simpson was an interesting pick. So, but yeah, 49ers definitely, at least up until this point, aren't top two. That's for sure. Um, I think the Browns are having a hell of a draft. It'll be interesting to see if they can pull something together because they're having a great draft. I agree. The Titans are having a good draft. The Eagles are having a phenomenal draft. I think the Texans have had a pretty solid draft. So, see, but this is how the 49ers can change things. You draft Emmanuel Pregnon at 70, I'm a happy camper. Texas A&M having a hell of a draft. They have a ton of players going in this class. Broncos with their first pick of the draft, taking defensive tackle Tyler Onyedum. Onyedum, I don't know if that's how you say it. Jermon McCoy, man, for being a highly touted pick, being like a top 20 ranked player, still available. Obviously, his issues is with health. He's still available. To me, if the 49ers go edge, this could be Danny Dennis Sutton. I've kind of believed that Danny Dennis Sutton is the Penn State edge rusher would be a player that the 49ers would like, kind of in this range. Same with Romello Height, Joshua Joseph as well. So the 49ers skipped. Oh, there we go. So what I was going to say is there's there's 3 tiers of edge rushers that I think are good. And we're into the 3rd tier, and as I'm saying this, the Raiders select defensive end from Auburn, on Crawford. So, this might be the run on edges in that 3rd tier of the edge group, where this is maybe where the 49ers come away with someone. And maybe it's Romello Height, maybe it's Danny Dennis Sutton or Joshua Joseph. But we'll see. We'll see. See how it goes. Do they go cornerback, Malik Muhammad, Jay-Sean Barham potentially? This could be the tight end spot as well. If they want to go Oscar Delp, if they want to go Sam Roush, they want to go Jack Endries. Except it doesn't seem like the tight end run is really happening right now. So now Philly is on the clock. All right. Do the 49ers pick? The Eagles pick is in. That means Chicago's on the clock. That means San Francisco 49ers are currently on deck. The Eagles take Markel Bell, Miami, offensive tackle, 6'9", 346 pounds. Dude is a monster. I don't particularly love him as an offensive line prospect just because he's almost too big. Little slow-footed and is top heavy. But I know it's a position of need for them to get good depth. For Philly, so they got a monster. All right. That means let's see what we get with the San Francisco 49ers, baby. Dude, if they trade back, that would be an experience. If they trade back again, that would be a real experience. If I get to pick, who am I going with? Great question. If I get to pick, I'm most likely going Pregnon right here because to me, I would have taken this guy. I would have taken this guy early in the second round. Um, but obviously, a lot of teams are passing on him, which makes me wonder if there are other things because the tape, his tape is awesome. So again, that's one of the things that goes into this is you have to scout the person. So that's not something that I have the access to. So I don't know what kind of person Pregnon is, but I mean, 6'4", 314 pounds, 33 and 5/8 inch arms, 11-inch hands, 82 and 7/8 inch wingspan. Um, I think he would definitely slot in at guard. Him or Dunker, honestly. Him, Dunker, Jalen Kilgore. I really like Jalen Kilgore. I think he would be a solid safety. Um, he would be someone that I want. I also would consider any three of the tight ends. It might be a little too soon for the tight ends that the 49ers could be targeting. But as we know, if they like him, they'll go for him. With D Winters being traded, I think Kyle Lewis becomes an interesting prospect out of Pitt, the linebacker who's kind of like a converted safety down to linebacker. He's undersized, but um, man, he's a good player. Um, the 49ers are officially on the clock for now. We'll see. We'll see what comes of it. Um, so Kyle Lewis is now an interesting option to me. AJ Hulsey is an interesting option to me. Obvious, I mean, I would be shocked if they went wide receiver again. Absolutely shocked. Oh, and just like that, the Bears draft Stanford tight end Sam Roush. So I think that could have been someone that they were targeting. I had mentioned this could be the run on tight ends, and I was saying I don't know where they value tight ends, and the Bears just told you where they value tight ends, and the Bears just went with Sam Roush, Stanford tight end, and I could probably guarantee that John Lynch. I really think that could have been the pick. So they might have just got sniped, and now might be picking up the phone to see if anyone wants to trade back. Um, but obviously, that remains. Oscar Delp is available. Jack Endries is available. I like both those tight ends as well. I have them in the same tier. Um, yeah, it's going to be interesting to see right here. All right. So the 49ers on the clock, not seeing a pick announced. All right. Let's see what it is. Let's see what it is. The pick is in for the San Francisco 49ers, so they are not trading out. The San Francisco 49ers are actually going to be making the pick at the 70th pick in the third round. The San Francisco 49ers go Romello Height. Okay. I will take that one. I will take this one. I like Romello. Romello was someone that I came across. And I really liked his tape. I really did. I think one of his knocks is he might be a little bit older. But I mean, he's about 2025 first team all Big 12, 6'3". I mean, to me, he's a pretty well-rounded edge rusher. So I like this. I like this pick. Last year, he had 10 sacks and 11 and a half tackles for loss. Okay, I can get around to this pick. I can take this pick. There we go. All right. So the 49ers have drafted Texas Tech edge Romello Height with pick 70. This is a good pick. I support this pick. So not bad. Not bad. Let me pull up some more information on him. So I want age. So he's older. He's 25. So that was kind of the knock on him was his age. But other than that, he's a good player. Like he is. He played at Auburn, then he transferred to USC, then he transferred to Georgia Tech, and then he finished his career at Texas Tech. So he's been at 4 schools. He was a part of the COVID era. So I think that's part of the reason why he has 6 seasons in college. Last year, he had 9 sacks, 2.5 sacks the year before that, 4 sacks at USC. Last year was definitely his most productive. Again, 6'3", about 240, 32 and a quarter inch arm. So he's on the smaller side. But he looks solid on film. I'll give him that. So I'm not mad at this one. Again, he's not your prototypical spring chicken. But I think he's pretty solid. So I think that's one that obviously fills a need for the 49ers. They need a pass rusher. I think he could put on a little bit more weight. It's not bad. So 49ers get their edge rusher. I believe this was also a guy that they had on a 30 visit. Honestly, there were times when I was watching Bailey, who was the number 2 overall pick, and Romello Height, who was on the other side. There's a lot of similarities there with how they rush. Like, honestly, like the testing numbers don't bear out. It doesn't look like he's a great athlete. He's older, right? But when you're watching some of what he does on film, you're like, okay, I can see it. And I'll show you right now. I'll show you. I don't have to tell you. I'll show you. So Romello Height. So again, the number 2 overall pick is on the other side. You can see how quickly he gets around the edge, strip sack. Like, he has juice. He really does. Like, he can shed blocks. He can close that gap in a hurry. You see the way that he's using his hands and using his leverage to get around. Here's him rushing as a stand-up linebacker up the middle. You see the way he anticipated the punch and swiped to get off the tackle. See the way he uses his arms. So again, he's a really good rusher. Like, he really is. Like, when I tweeted about him a couple months ago, I said I think he's one of the most underrated pass rushers in this class because no one's talking about him, and it's pretty solid. Like, he's just wrecking havoc. Look how quickly he gets around that tackle. And again, just using his hands, leverage, rip through. Here's against Arizona State, flying down the line of scrimmage, splitting a chip. Motor. Like, not bad. Like, I like this pick. Look at that spin move, counter inside. He's a good pass rusher. So the 49ers needed a pass rusher. They got a good one. So again, I'm good with this. Yep, this isn't going to be a guy who's going to be a 3-down edge. It's going to be kind of in line with the, having Michael as a base down edge, and then this guy comes in and he rushes the passer. Like, so you see the speed. So I like it. All right. I like this. I like this. 25-year-old Unk. uh Boxing Fan says, hopefully we land O-line Brad Graham, who has slid due to an injury sustained at Lake Tahoe. He's expected to make a full recovery by minicamp. Well, if you don't like 25-year-old rookies, you're not going to like 36-year-old rookies either. So but yeah, man, I like this pick. I do. I really don't mind it. In the third round, pick 70. Okay. All right. We're cooking a little bit. This made me feel a little bit better. I'm not going to lie. I do feel a little better about this. Oh, no. And there goes Oscar Delp to the Saints. Ooh. Oh, that's a good pick. And I hate that. Oh, I love it for Dynasty. I hate it for us. Wow. The Saints get Tyson and Delp. Sheesh. That's crazy. That's nuts. That's a good pick. Again, I mentioned we were in that tight end range. Jack Endries, I don't know. We'll see. But I really like that selection for the Saints. That's a good one. 49ers getting Romello Height. I like that pick. I'll take it. Malachi Fields to the Giants. That's a good pick. I like Malachi Fields. I think he's going to be a solid wide receiver. I think that's a good pairing with Jackson Dart. So, all right. All right. All right. So, whew, okay. I like it. I like it. I like it. All right. So, do the Niners pick again in this round? Pick 90? Oh, that's right. So, pick 90. That'll be interesting to see where he goes. Praying Jennings Dunkers falls into our lap at 90. He might. He might for sure. All right. We got a little something, a little action. All right. What's our instant grade of the Romello Height pick. Very curious to see what you guys think about it. Drop your thoughts. Grade it in the chat. What are you grading Romello Height pick 70? B. Yeah, I agree with that. Solid B. Just a solid pick. It's not like a crazy home run hitter or anything like that. Just solid. Just a good pick. Fits a need. You can see where his strengths lie. You can anticipate, where he's going to play, how he's going to play, where the success he's going to have is going to come from. The Dolphins selected Texas Tech wide receiver Caleb Douglas. I see some C's in there. I see an F in there. But yeah, this is your sub package pass rusher. And they needed that. So he's not a 3-down edge. He's going to be a guy who's going to rush the passer for the most part. And I don't think that's a bad thing. And he knows how to rush. That's for sure. So I'm good with it. Good pick. Good pick. I will support this pick. I'm happy with that. I am happy with that. Let me make a post here. Commanders draft Clemson wide receiver Antonio Williams. Not bad, not bad. Not bad, not bad. All right. Spirits have been rejuvenated a bit. I'm glad it wasn't a trade back or some obscure player. I think the value was appropriate where they took him. I think he has a lot of upside as a pass rusher. And yeah, I think he serves an immediate role and fills a need all at the same time. So, yeah, I'm Gucci with it. Only thing that really honestly really is the knock is his age. You would love to get him, with this upside at, you know, 22. But that's really to me like that's like the biggest knock on him is his age. So if that's your biggest knock, then all right. Oh, the Steelers took a quarterback. Ooh, Steelers took Penn State quarterback Drew Aller in Pittsburgh. Ooh, that's kind of a spicy pick. That's kind of a spicy pick for Pittsburgh, man. Yeah, I mean, I feel like if you're the Steelers, you can't rely on Aaron Rodgers. The dude's unsigned. Like, how do you count on him? I mean, I get over Nussmeier. I mean, Drew Aller really looked like a really good quarterback. Didn't he get hurt? And then it just kind of didn't really bounce back for him. Change of coaching staff. His coach got fired mid-season. I mean, there was a time when I remember watching him earlier in his career. I'm like, yeah, that looks like a first-round draft pick. So, I mean, taking a shot at him in the third round, I think that makes a lot of sense. I think it makes sense for sure. All right. All right. I'm thinking let's take a little break and then we will come back before pick 90. Let's come back before pick 90 and we'll react, close out the draft. So I'll be back. I'll be back in a little bit. But appreciate y'all. We got a lot of stuff to talk about still. See if the 49ers keep that pick or trade out. We'll see. Well, let's take a little break and then we'll be back. Grab your cookies. Peace. Smash that like button if you haven't already. Love to